On May 20th, 2025, President Trump stood in the Oval Office and announced a $175 billion plan that could completely change how America defends itself from nuclear attack. It's called the Golden Dome, a multi-layered missile defense shield designed to intercept everything from ballistic missiles to hypersonic weapons, even threats launched from space. Think Israel's Iron Dome, but on a scale never attempted before. Some call it the biggest gamble in defense history. Others say it's already a $175 billion failure. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what the Golden Dome is, how it's supposed to work, why China and Russia are terrified of it, and the one critical problem that could make the entire system useless. By the end, you'll understand why this system could either revolutionize warfare or become the most expensive defense project that never worked. Let's start with what sparked this entire initiative. For decades, Americans have been told we're protected from ballistic missile attacks, that our defense systems are ready, that we're safe. Here's what's actually true. As of early 2025, the United States has exactly 44 ground-based interceptors protecting the entire continental United States. 44? That's it. And here's the kicker. In tests, these interceptors work about 50% of the time. In a real attack with decoys, countermeasures, and multiple incoming warheads, the numbers get even worse. But that's not even the scariest part. Those 44 interceptors were designed in the 1990s to stop 1990s threats. Basic ballistic missiles following predictable arcs. Now look at what we're facing. China's DF-17 hypersonic glide vehicle travels at Mach 10, can maneuver mid-flight. Russia's Avangard, Mach 27, practically unstoppable with current tech. North Korea's ICBM tests, getting more sophisticated every year. Your iPhone is more advanced than the computers running most of our missile defense. That's the gap we're dealing with. In 2024, something changed. Intelligence reports showed China and Russia weren't just building hypersonic weapons. They were deploying them in numbers that could overwhelm our defenses. The Pentagon ran simulations, classified, but the results leaked. In a coordinated attack using modern weapons, the United States would struggle to stop even a fraction of incoming threats. That's when President Trump walked into a briefing, looked at these numbers, and said, "We need an Iron Dome for America." On January 2025, Trump signed an executive order. By May 20th, he stood before cameras with a plan. The Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term. We'll have it done in about 3 years. $175 billion. 3 years. Complete protection from any missile threat on Earth. Critics immediately called it impossible. Some said it was the biggest defense boondoggle since the Star Wars program of the 1980s. But here's what nobody told you. The technology to make this work already exists. The question is whether America can actually build it in time. The Golden Dome isn't one system. It's 4 layers working together. And it starts in space. Layer 1, a constellation of satellites equipped with infrared sensors and AI tracking. The moment a missile launches anywhere on Earth, these satellites detect the heat signature and start tracking. But here's what makes this different. Traditional satellites track missiles. These satellites will track, calculate trajectory, identify decoys, and coordinate the entire defense response, all within seconds using artificial intelligence. SpaceX is a likely contractor. Elon Musk's Starlink network has proven you can launch hundreds of satellites cheaply and quickly. The Golden Dome would need a similar constellation, but with military-grade sensors. Layer 2 takes our existing 44 interceptors and supercharges them. More interceptors, potentially 150 plus across Alaska, California, and new sites in Hawaii. Better radar systems. The recent test in Alaska tracked simulated Russian and Chinese missiles simultaneously. Faster response times, integrated with Layer 1's AI system. These intercept missiles in the mid-course phase, when they're coasting through space before re-entry. It's like hitting a bullet with another bullet while both are moving at 15,000 miles per hour. Layer 3 is where it gets interesting. next-generation interceptors for the terminal phase, when missiles are screaming back through the atmosphere toward their target. This includes directed energy weapons, yes, actual lasers, electromagnetic railguns, hit-to-kill interceptors with hypersonic speeds. The advantage? Multiple shots. Current systems get one chance. Lasers can fire continuously as long as they have power. Against a swarm attack with hundreds of warheads, that's the difference between survival and catastrophe. Layer 4 is the last line of defense. Point defense systems protecting specific high-value targets, cities, military bases, critical infrastructure. Think of it like this. Layers 1 to 2, stop missiles over the ocean. Layer 3, stop them over rural areas. Layer 4, protect New York, Washington, LA if everything else fails. Together, these 4 layers create overlapping fields of protection. A single missile would have to beat space-based tracking, dodge mid-course interceptors, survive terminal phase lasers, and slip past point defense, all while AI coordinates the response in real time. On paper, it's brilliant. In reality, we're about to see why 3 years might not be enough. Let's talk about what 3 years actually means. May 2025. Announcement. July 2025. Congress approves $25 billion initial funding. By January 2029, fully operational. That gives contractors about 3.5 years to design and launch hundreds of military satellites, build 100+ new interceptor silos across multiple states, develop and test lasers powerful enough to destroy missiles, integrate legacy systems that were never designed to work together, train thousands of operators on systems that don't exist yet. For context, the F-35 fighter jet took 15 years and went $165 billion over budget. The James Webb Space Telescope took 25 years. And those were single systems, not a coordinated network, defending an entire continent. But here's where the domino effect starts. China is watching. In August 2025, China's foreign ministry issued a warning. The weaponization of space will undermine global stability and trigger a new arms race. Translation: China is terrified this might actually work. Right now, China's nuclear deterrent depends on the credible threat that they can strike the US mainland. If the Golden Dome works, that entire strategy collapses. So China has 3 options: build more missiles to overwhelm the system, develop new weapons to defeat the layers, create their own Golden Dome. They're doing all 3 simultaneously. Which brings us to the real problem. Here's what the Pentagon doesn't want to talk about. The Congressional Budget Office estimates the real cost is $542 to $831 billion over 20 years, not $175 billion. But even that misses the point, because this isn't about the money. It's about the equation. A single DF-17 hypersonic missile costs China roughly $20 million to build. Each Golden Dome interceptor costs the US $75 to $100 million. And you typically need 2 to 3 interceptors to reliably stop one incoming missile. Do the math. For every $20 million missile China builds, we need to spend $150 to $300 million to stop it. This is called cost-imposing strategy. China can afford to build missiles faster than we can build interceptors. They can literally bankrupt our defense budget by forcing us to keep expanding the Golden Dome. And that's the checkmate nobody's talking about. Unless the US finds a way to dramatically reduce interceptor costs, probably through directed energy weapons, the Golden Dome becomes a financial trap. We'll spend $1 trillion building a system that's economically unsustainable to maintain. That's the one critical problem that could make this entire system useless. So where does the Golden Dome stand right now, in early 2026? Honestly, it's mostly PowerPoint presentations and contracts. Over 1,000 companies are competing for the $151 billion in contracts. L3 Harris, Lockheed Martin, RTX, SpaceX, Palantir. Everyone wants a piece. General Michael Guetlein is leading the effort from the Space Force. The first major test isn't scheduled until Q4 2028. Translation: no satellites launched, no lasers built, no interceptors deployed beyond what was already planned. The good news? It's not behind schedule yet because the real work hasn't started. The bad news? The clock is ticking, and we're about to find out if this timeline was ever realistic. But while America builds, the world is reacting. Russia announced they're developing countermeasures to defeat space-based defense systems. Translation: anti-satellite weapons. China ramping up hypersonic weapon production and testing new decoy technologies. Their message is clear: whatever you build will overwhelm it. Canada expressed interest in joining. The Golden Dome could extend to protect Canadian cities with minimal expansion. This could become the NATO of missile defense, a collective shield for the entire Western Hemisphere. Or it could become the most expensive arms race since the Cold War, with no clear winner and everyone less safe than before. Everything hinges on those tests in 2028. If the Golden Dome proves it can stop a realistic attack, hypersonic missiles, decoys, multiple warheads, the entire global balance of power shifts. If it fails, $175 billion spent, China and Russia emboldened, and America left more vulnerable than before with a massive budget hole. There's no middle ground here. This either works and changes everything, or it becomes the most expensive defense failure in American history. So here's what we know. The Golden Dome is real. The threats are real. The timeline is insanely ambitious, and the cost might be unsustainable even if it works perfectly. But here's what history has taught us. America has pulled off impossible projects before. The Manhattan Project, 3 years. The Apollo program, 8 years. Stealth fighter technology, developed in secret and shocked the world. The question isn't whether the technology is possible. It probably is. The question is whether we have the political will, the budget discipline, and the time to make it real before the threats we're defending against evolve beyond our ability to stop them. In 3 years, we'll know the answer. Until then, the Golden Dome remains America's most ambitious bet. That innovation and determination can outpace any threat, no matter how fast it flies or where it comes from. What do you think? Is this the future of defense or the biggest waste of money in Pentagon history? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to stay updated on the Golden Dome and other defense technology, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Trust me, this story is just getting started.